Good morning. Good morning. Hello, everybody. Good morning. They tell me a member of the University of Michigan Board of Regents, and I'd like to thank you all for coming to this leadership welcome breakfast. Thank you for being here, and I'd like to just quickly recognize a couple of my fellow regents. First of all, Regent Denise Illich is here, and also Chair of our board, Regent Paul Brown, is here. So thank you for being here. I know we all really want to hear from President Ono, so I am going to be very brief. It was my honor to chair the search committee with Regent Illich, and that brought to you Dr. President Jay Ono, our 15th university president. It's fair to acknowledge we'd gone through a challenging time before he joined us, so we searched for a president who could build trust and lead with integrity, who could champion our public mission in educational excellence and transformative research, in carbon neutrality and sustainability, and in diversity, inclusion, and equity. In short, we set the bar high and we looked for the best. Then President Ono stepped forward and we found the qualities we were looking for. I'm convinced he's the right choice for our university. And like all of you, I'm eager to hear his values and priorities. We love hearing him on Twitter. We can't wait to hear about him today. So please join me in welcoming him to the stage, President Ono.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, good morning. It's really wonderful to be here at Ross and to be with each and every one of you. Had a chance to get to know several of you, but I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you in the weeks ahead. And to all of those of you watching online, good morning as well. Sarah, Regent Hubbard, thank you so much for being here. Also, Denise Illich and Paul Brown are also with us, as well as the entire board. Your faith in me, in selecting me and working with me over the past 3.5 months have been just really exhilarating and a wonderful experience. Let me start off by saying it's been an honor to serve as Michigan's 15th president. I've been looking forward to this morning for several months. I started as president on October 14th, and every day since has been an opportunity to immerse myself in the energy and vitality of this remarkable institution that I have already grown to love. I want to thank every member of our executive team, including our chancellors, for their guidance during this first month, and also to Mary Sue Coleman, who has been really outstanding. I don't need to tell anyone here that this is a complex institution, stretching from Ann Arbor to Flint and to Dearborn. This leadership team and its knowledge of the University of Michigan have been invaluable to me, and I'm so grateful for their support. And the welcome from our students and faculty and staff has been simply extraordinary, and I'm really grateful for it. I got to be honest, I envy the professors who engage daily with these bright minds and work to instill the critical thinking skills that are so needed today, more than ever before. This morning is an opportunity to talk about how we can make a great public university even better. Better positioned and prepared to educate tomorrow's leaders and to address society's most pressing challenges. I will share some early impressions and priorities, and then I want to hear from you. Now, the University of Michigan, as you all know, is one of the most exceptional universities in the nation and in the world. We embody excellence in everything that we do. That infuses our teaching, our research and scholarship, patient care, and our service to society. It defines our libraries, our museums, campus operations, and our athletic program. We believe in and promote diversity, equity, and inclusion. Diversity and academic excellence go hand in hand. And we are committed to integrity as an institution. Restoring trust in this university to all stakeholders is my job as president. But it is also your job as university citizens. Every single member of this community must work to earn the trust of those who support us. We all play a role in creating the best possible environment for learning, teaching, and working. And we invest in people, from the very first year students that have joined us on this campus and all three campuses, to the most eminent and senior faculty, to staff members who are the backbone of our organization, and hundreds of thousands of patients who turn to us for care, for hope, and for healing. All of this is what attracted me to the University of Michigan. And it is why I am committed to making us an even more vital as a leading research university that serves our state, our nation, and the world. Just look around you, in your schools, wherever you might work, on all three campuses. We are surrounded by the best. Our academic enterprise is vast and vibrant. We have more than 100 top 10 graduate programs. And this translates into the extraordinary choices that are available to our students, engaging opportunities for our faculty, and scholarship that explores and explains the world. Every day, when I arrive on campus, I see the steelwork rising from our new pavilion on the medical campus. It is the foundation of a 12-story hospital that will serve our region, the state, and the world. It is a dominant symbol of the life-saving care performed daily by Michigan Medicine and its staff. I also recently stopped by the Alumni Center, a beautiful facility on the Diag. You should do it if you haven't. On the lower level of the building, there is a wall of notable alumni. Nobel laureates, Pulitzer Prize winners, scientists, public servants, artists, musicians, and inventors. It is a breathtaking display of leadership through the generations, from the very founding of this university. And the accomplished Michigan alumni of tomorrow join us today here in this room and also watching through WebStream. Student leaders representing all corners of this institution are here, and I'd like them to stand so we can applaud their hard work. Please stand, student leaders. Our dedication to academic excellence intertwines with our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. We cannot be excellent without being diverse in the broadest sense of that word. I'm very impressed by the work carried out with DEI 1.0, and I look forward to launching DEI 2.0 in a year. Until then, we will continue to assess our progress, test new ideas, and have sometimes difficult conversations about challenging issues that face this institution, but indeed the entire world. I will listen. I will learn as we move forward as an institution, leading by example to all the stakeholders to look to us for leadership. I'm excited to share news about how we live out our DEI values uniquely and creatively. Let me give you an example. Our financial team is identifying investment managers who believe as strongly as we all do in diversity, equity, and inclusion. One way we're going to now do that is to invest $300 million of the university's short-term working capital exclusively in high-performing companies that maintain strong ESG practices or environmental, social, and governance procedures and principles. This means they work to protect the environment, be socially responsible, and operate transparently while providing a strong financial return. A second new investment approach that we're taking is to work more closely with community banks in our own backyard, to strengthen ties with locally owned banks in Flint, Dearborn, Detroit, and Ann Arbor. We will be making long-term deposits with them for the first time in recent memory. These tens of millions of dollars in deposits are made with the understanding that they are lending. This support will allow banks to do more for underserved communities. When we talk about DEI, we don't always think about university finances, of course. Yet ESG investing and supporting local banks are among the many ways that we can work more strategically to reinforce and uphold our obligations to create a better and more just world. A different type of investment has struck me, and that is Michigan's commitment to the professional and personal growth of faculty, staff, and students. That includes our new Well-Being Collective, which promotes good health for individuals and throughout our settings and organizations. We've just announced plans for a new child care center to support Michigan medicine professionals whose schedules are among the most demanding on campus. Our strategic approach to information technology also sets us apart. We have transformed our infrastructure for our campus that relies heavily upon IT for teaching, scholarship, and patient care. We are the very first university to give students a data privacy dashboard, and we will soon deploy that for faculty and staff. And we are creating a think tank for privacy advocacy, research, and innovation. At the University of Michigan Dearborn, we're deepening our commitment to metropolitan Detroit students through a new partnership with a longtime friend, Henry Ford College. Henry Ford College graduates will now find it easier to transfer to University of Michigan Dearborn, earn a Michigan degree, and achieve their career goals. This is a triple win for Henry Ford College, University of Michigan Dearborn, and our state's economy. And at the University of Michigan Flint, the investment in people includes deep support for military veterans and their dreams of a college education. Flint's Student Veterans Resource Center is among the best in the state at serving those who have served our nation. And we are fully engaged in a strategic transformation process to strengthen University of Michigan Flint's overall academics and finances to best serve the region in the years ahead. I'm excited to tell you that we are expanding our investments in people with new funding for staff development. Jill Castro is a perfect example of how this support makes a difference. Jill is a senior counselor with the Faculty and Staff Counseling and Consultation Office. When she gave birth to her son a few years ago, she experienced postpartum depression and anxiety. And this is not uncommon. I've been there myself. Jill got the treatment she needed and returned to work with a passion for helping new mothers navigate parenting and work. She received a grant through Voices of the Staff to become certified in treating perinatal mood disorders. And now she provides individual counseling and monthly support to a group for new moms. Jill, would you please stand so we can give you a round of applause? Today, I'm proud to announce that we're launching a new $1 million staff career development fund for our outstanding staff that I said are the backbone of this institution. It will provide grants to individuals or staff teams for professional growth and strengthen our 3 campuses' already outstanding workforce. I want to reiterate what makes Michigan stand apart. People, who are our greatest resource. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Integrity and a culture of respect for each other. And above all, excellence across the university on all 3 campuses and throughout our healthcare system at Michigan Medicine. Now we have essential work ahead of us. So as we aspire to be distinctly Michigan, in a perpetually disruptive world, I will look to all of you, especially in this room, for ideas, support, inspiration, and creativity. First, we will embark on a university-wide strategic visioning process that builds on critical work already underway. This includes our Bold Ideas Initiative, where we align our research strengths with global challenges and with government, industry, and philanthropic organizations. It will draw upon our pioneering advances in academic innovation, and we are always looking to improve how we work across disciplines, between schools, to unleash the power and potential of this university, to build upon that disciplinary strength, to be at the boundaries and the penetrating cutting edge of discovery, innovation, and community service. We know that we want to solve society's most significant challenges. And we have the intellectual capital, perhaps unmatched by any other institution. And we have human capital among our faculty, staff, students, and alumni. What we need is a shared vision, all oars rowing in the same direction. We need to hear all of your voices. Your ideas are essential. A shared vision for our 3 campuses will allow us to sharpen our impact and determine what we stand for and where we want to go as a great public university moving into the future. I'd like us to come together as one community to spend the coming months in conversation, in true dialogue, to develop a strategic vision that will be in place for this university in 2024. This is not my vision. It will be about what we want to do together. Let's build upon our tremendous disciplinary strength, exceptional academics and research, a dedication to a sustainable future, and a core belief in being inclusive and welcoming to all. Shortly after the Thanksgiving break, I'll be making my first visit to historic Detroit Observatory. I'm looking forward to meeting Gary Krenz. The Detroit Observatory opened in 1854 and was the university's first real commitment to scientific inquiry. Around the time the university committed to a hospital integrated into the university. Our academic enterprise hasn't slowed since that day. We are the top public research university in the nation, one of the best in the world. We rank number 1 in social science research funding and number 3 in the humanities. We have remarkable strengths in fundamental science, in biomedical science, engineering, and technology. We are pushing the boundaries of residential and online learning through greater reach and lifelong engagement that is the foundation of a blended future for higher education. Our environment for the arts and creativity, including our renewed commitment through the Arts Initiative, informs how we understand and interpret the human experience and the human condition. For me, few activities provide greater joy and renew my spirit than trying to play the cello with students and faculty here, looking at the wonderful art in our museums, and immersing myself in a book and looking at visual art, or listening to one of our 7 symphony orchestras here at the School of Music, Theater, and Dance. I hope you noticed all the impressive honors earned by our faculty that appeared on the lobby screen during breakfast. Guggenheim Fellows, induction to the National Academies, AAAS Fellows, and much, much more. The most effective way to accelerate and amplify this scholarship and research prominence is to provide our faculty with the tools and resources they need to succeed. Our faculty's excellence is really the central core of this university's excellence. That's why I am pleased to announce a new strategy to strengthen support for faculty by identifying new ways to be more competitive for a broader range of transformational grants. These external funding opportunities with the federal government, foundations, and corporations support research and scholarship across many disciplines where we already excel. We are so strong in so many fields. But I want to invest in our current faculty to better enable their expertise for tackling significant societal challenges across all 19 schools and all 3 campuses. In addition, and building on our visionary work, we will look to recruit 100 net new positive faculty in disciplines stretching from the STEM disciplines to the arts, humanities, and social sciences. We will undertake this recruiting in 2023, just a few months away, with some of our new hires arriving on our campuses in 2024. These new dynamic faculty will complement our annual hiring on top of that hiring in support of brilliant scholarship. Our deans and directors and our provost and our vice president for health affairs are in the best position to know how to recruit and reward the intellectual talent of faculty for an even more profound impact on society. Now, we cannot discuss the immense challenges and not address the world's most pressing matter, the climate emergency. We live in a time of great promise and unprecedented danger for our planet. Universities are societies within themselves, with cross-cutting research, massive operational footprints, motivated and dynamic students, staff, faculty, and alumni that are clearly articulating the need for us to be leaders in confronting the climate emergency. That's why we will take climate action as one of our top priorities moving forward, and I will take it very seriously. Our collective future is at stake. Now, we've made considerable strides towards university-wide carbon neutrality, and we have incredible scholars and leaders in this space already, over 700. But we are going to do more in the years ahead. Today, I'm pleased to announce that we will launch a national search for a sustainability leader for this university. This leader will address our operations, focusing on the campus as a living laboratory to achieve campus neutrality in an accelerated way. This person will report to the Chief Financial Officer and to myself, and that individual's responsibilities will include nearly 37 million square feet of building space. This will be a senior-level professional who serves as an advisor to me as we continue to build a culture of sustainability. In addition, I'll work with the provost and the deans of this institution on a new initiative that further invests in our people and our programs focused on climate action and sustainability. This is a priority for all of us. This is a priority for me, and will ensure that we leverage all of our resources across our schools and colleges and all of our campuses to address the climate emergency. The need is great. I'm also excited to share, as an example of what we can do, that the University of Michigan is partnering with Delta Airlines to improve the use of sustainable aviation fuel. This is an alternative to conventional jet fuel with far less damaging emissions. We are the first university in the country to partner with Delta in this way. We anticipate that this collaboration will lead to rewarding research and increased global demand. Ultimately, we need to disrupt how we think about climate change. It's not merely for climate scientists and politicians to solve. We all have to be part of the solution. And the University of Michigan cannot, will not work in a vacuum. We all have a role to play in protecting the planet for our children and our children's children. That's why I'm proud to announce that the University of Michigan will now serve as the lead institution for the University Climate Change Coalition, first launched at the University of California by Janet Napolitano. The University Climate Change Coalition convenes 23 leading North American universities towards climate action on campus, in their communities, and at a global stage. Climate change has to be addressed not by a single institution, not by a single nation, but by a network of powerful research universities working in concert with foundations and governments. I know UC3 very well. Janet tapped me to lead it when I was president of the University of British Columbia. I look forward to working with all of the presidents and chancellors in that network towards our shared goals. We can influence a network of leading universities and the higher education ecosystem overall by leading UC3. We can and we will make an impact by reshaping and transforming what it looks like to address grand challenges in this world, starting with climate change. A university president is in the privileged position of being the institution's spokesperson, defender, perhaps biggest cheerleader. And there's so much positive to say about the University of Michigan. But this same presidential platform must acknowledge mistakes and imperfections in our history. And we are, like all institutions, far from perfect as an institution. Michigan has a rich history of shaping American higher education, of which we are justifiably proud. Where we have stumbled in our past is by excluding and segregating individuals because of their race, gender, ethnicity, religious faith, or sexual identity. In doing so, we have robbed people of the full University of Michigan experience and deprived the university of ideas and talent. And I can tell you, in my first several weeks, in speaking with faculty, staff, and students, that we still have work to do. Let me give you one example from the past. Marjorie Franklin was an Ann Arbor high school graduate, accepted into our nursing school in 1924. But unlike all the other women training to be nurses, Marjorie was denied housing on our campus. The university at that time did not allow African American students like her to live in our residence halls and directed her to a boarding house in a racially segregated part of the city. Marjorie and her mother fought back. Finally, with the help of an attorney, Oscar Baker, a black graduate of the Michigan Law School, they forced the university to relent and to provide Marjorie with a dormitory room. I'm afraid that Marjorie Franklin's story is just one of many unfortunate episodes. We cannot move forward as a university until we acknowledge those that we've excluded in the past. We must have the courage as an institution and as individuals to understand the lived experiences of all those in our community today and also in the past. This is why I believe so strongly in the Inclusive History Project and what it can tell us about our university and ourselves, our history that informs who we are today, and our thoughts about what we want to become moving into the future. This presidential initiative aims to create a more accurate narrative about the university, with an initial focus on race and racism. Guiding this work is Professor Elizabeth Cole, who directs the National Center for Institutional Diversity, and Professor Earl Lewis, director and founder of the Center for Social Solutions. I'd like to ask both of them to stand so we can give them a round of applause. These two individuals will lead a newly named committee of faculty, staff, and students. I understand they've already met. I look forward to supporting them and working with them. Thank you so much for your leadership. I appreciate your collective dedication to a critical project that we expect will take some years to complete, but we will support it 100%. The Inclusive History Project has many possible outcomes. New scholarship, new kinds of monuments and public art, a fresh look at how we name our buildings and our public spaces, and much, much more. This will, at some times, be a painful but a crucial process of self-discovery, because truth is at the starting point of reconciliation. Yet, as I said, acknowledging this truth is at the very heart of what it means to be a great university. And it aligns with our values as a place that generates knowledge. I hope you can sense how excited I am to be leading the University of Michigan. It is an honor and privilege. The scope and scale of our research, scholarship, and service to the world are a daily source of energy, inspiration, and pride to me, and I know each and every one of you. I've had the opportunity since arriving to enjoy several student and faculty performances at the School of Music, Theater, and Dance, the iconic Hill Auditorium. I listened to the Men's Glee Club not that long ago, made up of non-music majors. You could have fooled me. They're absolutely remarkable. I've heard the university band, and I've heard 2 of the 7 university campus orchestras. I've learned that a beloved campus song, The University, with lyrics that embody our mission, to teach, to serve, to probe the unknown. Just 8 words that summarize what I just spent the last 25 minutes covering. I have always known that universities can and do transform the world for the better. We do so much, so well at the University of Michigan. I want to reinforce what I said when I was appointed president. This institution has the ability, through the intellectual capital of the faculty, staff, students, and alumni, almost like no other institution, to address the world's most existential challenges with impact and creativity. We can do even more, and we will do that together. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm happy to answer any questions there might be in the audience. Please don't be shy. Nice to see you again. And welcome to the University of Michigan, our president of the Alumni Association. Let's hear it for her.
Good morning. Your address was wonderful. It was amazing.
Thank you.
The vision you set forth, I think, is one that resonated with me on so many levels. I am wondering about metrics and accountability. Any thoughts, early thoughts on how you plan to measure progress?
Thank you very much for that excellent question. And someone who has been instrumental in seeing my TIAA-CREF value grow over the years. I'm not surprised with that question. And I have to tell you that, I want to give a shout out to a mentor of mine, Earl Lewis, who's with us today, as you know. A lot of the things that I'm doing, that we're going to do together, are informed by my watching his leadership at the University of Michigan and also at Emory University. To your question, this strategic visioning process is a collective activity where we'll co-create not only the vision, but there'll be regular dialogue and interactions regarding priorities and initiatives that emanate from moving that vision forward. So the first year is simply by 2024 to share that vision, to co-create it together. But following that, the leadership team, together with the deans of the institution, we will have a robust website. We will define, not today, but through cooperative dialogue, those sorts of metrics. Because as you know from watching the news today about law schools actually removing themselves from the U.S. News ranking, that really thoughtful discourse about what metrics are meaningful is something that we have to do together. And they're very, very important, because if you choose the wrong metrics, you'll be measuring things that really aren't at the core mission of our vision. So I won't articulate today, because we're still developing the vision, what those metrics will be, but I will commit this institution to having metrics and to reporting on an annual basis progress towards achieving that vision. So we'll do it together. Thank you for that. Other questions? Let me ask you, I'll turn it around. Oh, go ahead, please go ahead.
Thank you for
What's your name?
Lonnie L. Robert. I'm in University, the SI, the School of Information here. Happy to see you. One of the things you mentioned about $1 million fund for staff, for some of the best staff. So I think there's two issues there. One, $1 million isn't a whole lot of money. And then two, I'm really concerned not so much about the best staff, but about a lot of staff members that are struggling. And somehow, I mean, we live in an ecosystem where faculty have tenure, grad students have unions, students have parents, right? But in between that, the actual staff are sort of left to their own. And so they're often the ones who bear the brunt of everyone else's ability to leverage their position.
Thank you for that question. So you're looking at somebody who has lived in universities my entire life. I was born on the University of British Columbia campus. My dad has been a professor for his whole life, and he's 94. And some of you who know me know that I've been a member of staff in many different parts of the institution. I've worked in the cafeterias, I've been in catering, I've worked in the libraries, reshelving books at the University of Chicago's Regenstein Library. And when I said the staff are the backbone of the institution, I'm being absolutely serious. And it's for that reason that I wanted that to be part of what I said today. Now, that $1 million is new money. It goes on top of existing commitments to staff development. And it's only the beginning. This is my first month. We will work together. We will work together. We'll talk to you and others and be thoughtful and intentional about what we can do. It's not just about money. It's about respect on a daily basis. It's about truly listening and interacting, and I commit to doing so. So don't worry, it's just the beginning. Yes.
Welcome, President Ono. My name is Katrina Wade Golden, and I want to thank you for the comments that you shared today and the number of new initiatives that you're launching. I wanted to probe specifically about the faculty hiring initiative.
Yeah.
And one of the common threads that you shared through your comments today was the importance of diversity, equity, inclusion. How will you ensure that those elements are central to that faculty hiring initiative?
Thank you very much. That's a great question. As you may have known, I've been involved in these kinds of significant faculty or academic renewal activities at other institutions. We've been hiring several hundred faculty at the University of British Columbia over a period of, these are net new positives on top of replacement hires. So it's pretty exciting. It's a pretty big investment if you do the math, because each of these are new lines. And if you do the math of how much it actually costs to create a line, for a new faculty member, it's significant in perpetuity. Now, to answer your question, having done this at the University of Cincinnati, where I was president, and University of British Columbia, my commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion isn't something new. It's something I've been involved in for my entire life, even at University College London. It's something that is a commitment of mine. To answer your question, how do you, when you actually go about these recruitment processes, ensure that it actually supports our DEI 1.0 and 2.0 activities? It's something that we're already discussing as a leadership team. The provost of the institution, the executive vice president of health affairs, all of the EOs are 100% in to ensuring that as we move forward, that when we make critical hires, that's at the front of the table. It's always on the radar screen. I've had a wonderful time actually interacting with all chairs and APG, and we discussed that. There were in the APG meeting that I discussed, our provost had as one of the groups, and I was really happy to interact with deans and also in all chairs with chairs. This is something that's already front and center with those groups. And through a strategic visioning process, the reason why it's important, and by the way, the decision to have a strategic visioning process came from listening to the community over the past 3.5 months. Many deans, many chairs, many faculty members, many students said, we haven't really had a clear strategic direction as a university for some time. And they said, please work with the community to make it clear so we all know where we're going and what kind of institution we want to be. So that's why we're doing this in this upcoming year. And so it involves all kinds of things. It involves making sure, and this is already happening with our Chief Diversity Officer here, we're already talking about unconscious bias in search processes. We're already making sure that when a search committee begins a process, whether it's for an administrative position or certainly for these significant faculty hires, and by the way, 100 is the floor. There'll be more than that. This is just an announcement for today. So I think the number will be much larger in reality moving forward. It's an opportunity to ensure that as we search for the best and brightest, that we look at the definition of what makes the best and the brightest. And diversity is critical moving forward to true excellence and inclusion. Thanks for that question.
Hello, my name is Al Hermson. I am the president of the U of M Retiree Association.
How are you?
I'm doing well. I just want to let you know that we have a strong retiree association connected with the University of Michigan. Almost 2,000 members that are active. There's 12,000 retirees out there. And we'd like to invite you to talk with us on how retirees can help you achieve your goals, our goals. Maybe meet with us, and if, I don't know if you have any comments on how you thought about how you might bring retirees in to help with the things you've talked about today.
Thank you so much for that question. I got to tell you that, I first appreciated the tremendous value of retired faculty and staff when I was at Emory University in Atlanta. They had an emeritus college that Earl actually supported, so I watched that happen. I then went to the University of Cincinnati, and we invited people from their emeritus college to come up to the University of Cincinnati, and we created the first emeritus college there. And then I became president of the University of British Columbia. They had a retired faculty association, but it wasn't structured as an emeritus college. And if you look in the public domain, you'll see that one of the things that I did, of which I'm most proud, is to actually create an emeritus college. The first such college created at that institution in about 50 years. And it has a dean, it has an associate dean, it has a budget, it has resources to support the scholarship and research of faculty, some still bringing in multi-million-dollar grants. And so, I'm looking forward to interacting with you. I appreciate the invitation, and I'm looking forward to how I can be supportive, because I think that retired faculty and staff are really a tremendous asset to any institution. We involve them in all kinds of things, on committees. We involve them actually in reviewing applications, and they really wanted to review applications. And so thank you so much for that question.
Good morning, President Ono. Over, hi. Welcome to our institution. My name is Tom Braun. I'm a professor at the School of Public Health and also a member of SACUA. We look forward to talking to you soon.
Look forward to it.
You have mentioned interest in creating this Office of Integrity and Ethics, and you didn't bring it up in your presentation today, but I was wondering if you could provide some insight in what you envision that office being for the university. Thanks.
Thank you. And you may know that I've been talking to a number of different groups about that, even as recently as yesterday. I spoke with ECCI, I'm going to talk to ECRT. I've spoken to APG, and I'm going to speak with all chairs as well, but also with you. And it stems from one of the charges that was given to me when I was recruited to this institution. I think we all know that University of Michigan over the past year or so has had a number of difficult situations that we're all trying to move beyond. As you know, there have been a lot of conversation across this institution, and there have been consulting groups that have been brought in, Guidepost, as you know, and I'm sure you're familiar with it, where there was a clear recommendation that University of Michigan create such an independent office. Regent Denise Illich has been really instrumental as well in pushing the institution and the regents to support that, and they unanimously do support that, as you know from the most recent regents meeting at the Flint campus. This is, once again, not going to be something that will be rushed. It has to be done very well, respecting the progress that has been made. ECRT and ECCI and the deans and provosts of this institution and executive vice president of health affairs are all in our commitment as an institution to move past this. Integrity and ethics are really at the core of every great institution. And so that commitment comes from a recommendation from those conversations. I think it was probably the last commitment to be fulfilled. I've had a chance to speak with lots of faculty and students, and there's been tremendous support. But it's very important that we not rush. We will move swiftly, but not too swiftly, because we need to interdigitate with existing entities. We cannot in any way rush and interfere with processes that have been built over the past year or so that are working well. And so we're just in that process of consultations. One thing that hasn't been announced, but will be shortly, is that we'll be starting the search for a very special person to lead that office. We'll look very carefully for somebody who's strong, who's a person of ethics. Usually, institutions get into trouble where there's no accountability, especially for people in power. It's for that reason that I have said very clearly that individual and that office will be independent, sort of like an ombuds office. They'll be reporting to me and to the general counsel of the office because there needs to be an officer supporting it in terms of their budgetary and administrative needs. But I will have, for example, no role in the independence of that individual reporting to the regents about any trends or issues that are troubling. And that's something that I've heard very clearly from different groups on campus is a must. So to answer your question, we're just in the middle of that consultation. It's not going to take that long, but we can't rush it. We need to do it right. If we don't do it right and we don't listen, then it'll compromise the trust that is our primary objective in standing up the office. But we're committed to doing it. You'll hear more in the weeks and months ahead, and thank you so much for your question.
We'll take one more question, and then President Ono is going to take a few questions from the media.
Hey, I'm Kirsten Harold. I'm also in the School of Public Health and the president of the Lecturers Union. And I would say almost every day we hear from members about student mental health challenges being a lot worse than pre-COVID, and also that the institution could do better in this area. I know in July, the first time we met you, you spoke quite movingly, I thought, about your own struggles around this issue. And so I just wanted you to talk a little bit more about how you see the institution, moving forward in this area.
Thank you very much. It's absolutely true that this is a passion of mine. I have the opportunity to speak with university presidents around the world. We spoke about this at the AAU meeting, which is about 65 or so institutions, some of the leading universities in North America, 2 in Canada. And this is one of the top concerns of presidents around the world. And I've spoken to faculty members here at the University of Michigan. I'm having these regular dinners. Please say yes when we invite you. They're really wonderful experiences. They're faculty members that are from across the entire institution, and there's no agenda. It's really to talk about and for me to hear about the passions and the concerns of the community. The first one was outstanding. We held it on the North Campus strategically to give them some love because a lot of things happen here on the center of campus. But one of the things that I heard, probably the number one thing that I heard, was the concern for not only the wellness of students, but also faculty and staff. The pandemic has been hard. I don't know if you know, but about 1 out of 3 university and college presidents in Canada stepped down this past year. Unheard of. And when they were exit interviewed or surveyed by places like the Chronicle of Higher Education, the reason was their well-being. It's tough to be a professor and to deal with what you're seeing in terms of student mental health. It's hard to be RA in the residence hall when you're actually at the front line and you're seeing students struggling. It's hard to be a dean. It's hard to be a member of staff when you see all of this. Many people are not trained to see the signs and symptoms of individuals that are experiencing mental health challenges. There's not enough resource at every level to support not only students, but faculty and staff enough. I'm proud that the provost and the APG have already started talking about what to do to support students. The commitment to the Okanagan Charter. And you probably know that I've been very involved in that. I was one of the founding signatories in launching the Okanagan Charter Initiative. It really focuses on a multidimensional approach to supporting the wellness of students, but also faculty and staff. So that conversation has already occurred at APG here. There will be an upcoming conversation, already one recently, about the wellness of faculty and staff as well. That'll be part of the visioning process, because the visioning is not just about interdisciplinary excellence and academic renewal and focus on existential issues, but it's also on how we as an institution support the wellness of every member of the university, because in doing so they can reach their maximum potential as a student, faculty, or staff. So to answer your question, there are many things that we can do. There are many things that we are doing. And there'll be in subsequent leadership breakfast announcements of investments that we make after conversation that hopefully will better support our students and our faculty. I'll give you a couple of examples of what I've been able to do at the University of British Columbia that has been very helpful. Some of this has already happened at University of Michigan. For example, we realized in speaking to students that the most vulnerable period is in the first year, in the first semester. And many universities were investing 2x, 3x of the annual allocation for student mental health support and not seeing the kind of ROI that they expected. Well, we spoke to the students and we said, what are we doing wrong? You know, we have a new building, we have so many more counselors, what are we doing wrong? And they said, you know, we're most vulnerable not Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. We're most vulnerable on that Sunday at 2 a.m. when for the very first time in our life, we're not going to get an A. We might get a D, and there's nobody there. And so what we started to do was to put into the residence halls every other floor students psychologists, that were fully trained in supporting students so that they know the students 24/7, every single day of the academic calendar. They know them and they can detect changes in the behavior of individual students, and they're there for them on Sunday at 2 a.m. We also expanded, as has happened here, virtual 24/7 mental health counseling in every single language of every single student, international student on the campus. So we're going to be having those conversations. Martina Harmon is really outstanding Vice President of Students. Michigan Medicine, our Chief Health Officer, is really outstanding. I'm in contact with him on a regular basis. So we're going to come together. Stay tuned. We will do more. Thank you. How are you doing?
Good to see you again.
Nice to
Sam
see you
Dodge
again.
from Ann Arbor News. I'm live. Pardon me, I'll read my question.
That's okay.
Just 'cause it's hard for me to remember things sometimes. Regarding the Inclusive History Project, that you mentioned that new monuments or name changes to buildings could be coming, and I don't want to preempt the work of that project, but between the Yost Ice Arena and the Bo Schembechler statue, there's been talk about the future of those related to the recent reevaluations of both those men and their histories. For your perspective, how do you balance renaming or replacing things to right past wrongs and educating people of the university's complicated history?
So thank you for that question. And as you know, there have been a number of conversations. There was even a committee that my predecessor actually put together to study the question. And you probably know the outcome of that was actually to have more conversation, to be thoughtful, and not to be piecemeal in actions that are taken by the institution. So I think that'll be one of the great outcomes of the Inclusive History Project, is to really be thoughtful and inclusive in thinking about those questions. So it would be inappropriate for me to get in front of that whole process. We have an outstanding group of individuals. It's early days for their conversations, but those are the kinds of things that we will receive advice from that group.
Hi there. My name is Amar Goyal. I'm with the Michigan Daily.
Hi.
I know that many students are still reeling from the previous events, from the previous president. You mentioned earlier in your address that one of your priorities was restoring trust in the university. So my question is, how do you plan to restore trust, not only in staff, but also in the students here on campus?
I don't know if you're with the Michigan Daily, you probably have noticed that I spend quite a bit of time with students already. I was at Trotter, and you know, one of the early things that occurred, there have been several things that have occurred even in the first month. There have been flyers from the Black Student Union's platform, which is, by the way, outstanding, very well thought through, that were torn down. We were very clear in condemning that kind of activity. As has happened at other institutions and at Michigan previously, there have been anti-Semitic flyers. We were very speedy in condemning that kind of behavior, and we'll continue to do so. We need to make our expectations clear of what the behavior of this community. So that's part of the process of rebuilding trust, is to hear those concerns. But more substantively, we met with the executive of the Black Student Union, as you probably know. And we're going to take a different approach. Typically what happens in administrations is that a stakeholder group will express some concern about policies or the state of affairs. And then the administration will go off, and there might be a task force, and a year goes by, and then they come back and say, this is what we're going to do. Our approach is going to be different, as you probably know. We sat down with them to have a conversation, to co-create the path forward. We certainly had recommendations, because we are administrators, on how the dialogue can be structured around their 4 recommendations. But we have gotten back to them. There were some questions they had of our preliminary suggestion of how we might work together in terms of representation, in terms of addressing anti-Black racism. And we recommended certain individuals from the faculty and from the administration who would best work together with students to have those conversations and identify actions that we could take to address each of their recommendations. So they're going to come back to us with their reaction to our suggestions, and then we're going to roll up our sleeves and get to work. And we want to move thoughtfully, but we want to move at a quicker pace than is typical at most universities.
Hi, I'm Simon Monka. I'm also with the Michigan Daily. In the context of the Black Student Union's discussions with you, I was just wondering your view of what challenges and limits you foresee the university meeting in its commitment to DEI. I know the student body has had a lot of questions about diversity in the student body.
Yeah, I mean, as you've heard from my remarks, this is a priority of mine, and it's a priority of the administration. I know that the deans also, this is very, very important to them. Building an inclusive and more diverse community is something that we're going to continue to discuss beyond DEI 1.0. We're going to discuss the findings of that in January, and we're going to renew our commitment to that with DEI 2.0. In terms of the challenges, you know, the discrimination that exists in every institution developed over centuries, if not millennia. And it would be dishonest to say that at the snap of the finger of one person, everything will be better. It would not be truthful. It's important, as I said in my remarks, that I'm responsible and I'm accountable to progress towards those goals, but all of us are. When I spoke to the Black Student Union, they said, you know, it's great what we're hearing from you and other deans and other vice presidents, but I experienced X in my classroom. I experienced Y walking through the diag. And so all of those microaggressions together really impact experience that every faculty, staff, and student have on this campus. And so it really takes all of us. It requires us as leadership to continuously talk about the need for improvement. It takes resource, it takes dedication, it takes commitment, but I believe that is all here at the University of Michigan. But it will take a little bit of time. Thank you very much, everybody. Go Blue. Thank you very much. Thanks. Yeah. Thank you for doing that.
My pleasure.